I'm still on the quest to find an old narrowboat for our project. Back at Bates Boatyard, Anita Booz and Nick Davies are no strangers to the delights of narrowboat restoration. Anita, Nick, we're standing next to your boat, the boat which you've done so much work on. Are you going to tell me a little bit about it?
Well, the boat itself started life in 1943, having been built by Anchor Dock for S.E. Barlow's. And it worked probably for sort of 30, 40 years up until the late 60s. And then it went to private ownership and fell into neglect and started to fall to pieces. A chap called Bill George got hold of the boat and did a great deal of restoration. And we had acquired the boat from him up at Ivinghoe and brought the boat back here. It was just an open hull at that point.
Right.
And it required a great deal of restoration to complete it.
And what made you choose this boat over other boats that you may have seen on the canals?
Right. Well, we'd spotted the boat up at a lock in Ivinghoe, moored, and sort of fell in love with it there and then, really. And we investigated a little bit about its history, discovered that it was the only motorised boat that S.E. Barlow's had ever built. It was built during the Second World War. It was named after HMS Hood, the naval vessel that was destroyed by the Bismarck. And it did some of the last carrying contracts in the working days of the canals. So it's very well documented, a great deal of photographs, film footage of the boat, all of those things put together make it a boat that was sort of worth rescuing and giving a bit more of a future.
Right. And with regard to all the paintwork on the side, was that sort of copied from the original?
It would have had a number of liveries because it worked for 3 different companies during its working life. But the first livery it had was this one.
We didn't have any pictures of the front until we'd seen an episode of Waterworld, and people had told us, you know, there's some historic boats on it. We're watching these boats motor past, and we saw an S.E. Barlow. It was fantastic, and then we saw number 100. It's like, wow, that's our boat.
That's your boat.
So we knew exactly the colours at the front and the design. And
yes, this boat's getting very close to the edge. It looks like launch is imminent, doesn't it? Big moment for you both.
Well, it is. I mean, it's quite an event to side launch a boat. I think I'm right in saying that we're the only boatyard that still does a traditional side launch.
As against?
Well, normally they're craned in. They're craned out and craned in with steel boats.
Yeah.
And it's just how it would have been done traditionally, so it's just a nice event.
Now, I really do think that you deserve a bravery award on this. We can't offer you that, but we can bring in a gentleman called Martin Jiggin, and he's going to give you the Ken Keyes Award for the restoration project for the Narrowboat 2004. Well done, both of you.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
much.
So much. Well done.
Thank you.
Well unexpected. Thank you.
Kept it quiet for me.
Very, very well done. All your hard work is now justified.
Ah, yes.
Armed with the Historic Narrowboat Owners Club prestigious award, there is only one more hurdle left, the launch. There's about a foot to go before it starts to tilt. Here we go. Wow, would you just look at that? Incredible. I've never seen that before and I want to see it again. Absolutely amazing. Do you enjoy that, Anita?
Really scary and then really exciting, and yeah, you heard a bit of a scream. Yeah, I want to do it again. It was brilliant fun.
Oh no, I think it's just the one. Now she's all floating. Have you done any checks yet for leaks?
No, not yet. Shouldn't leak. I mean, there's a vague possibility that things move as it launches, and it'll perhaps take a week or two to take up in the wood and tighten in the joints, but I wouldn't expect it to leak. I haven't fitted a bilge pump yet, so I'm not in a real panic about leaking.
There's a confident man. Narrowboat Hood is finally in the water. How do you both feel?
It does feel fantastic to have it in the water, doesn't it? To feel the movement again. Looking forward to those nights of being rocked to sleep, which we've hadn't had for a long time. But yeah, it's fabulous.
I think you've done a great job of the interior. What considerations did you have when you were designing the boat?
Well, a lot of it was down to me, wasn't it?
You did most of the interior design.
I think I did it on the spot when Nick first lifted these beams. And then I was pacing up the boat saying, well, the bed's going to be here and this is where the bathroom's going to be.
The emphasis on the fit-out, I think, was to keep it as open plan as possible, to give the illusion of perhaps more space than there really is. If you crowd it too much with huge amounts of fitted furniture, you end up living in a fitted kitchen and with a corridor down one side, and it can just look a little bit too busy and crowded. So we tried to give the illusion of something a little bit more convivial and open, I suppose.
And I presume that the porthole down there is the jacuzzi.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Big two-person jacuzzi, spa, sauna as well, we've discovered by accident.
How much accommodation have you got on the boat?
Well, there's a fixed double at the stern. The sofa we're sitting on now, which folds down into another double bed, and then eventually we'll have a traditionally fitted out back cabin, so there'll be another fold down double accommodation there with another stove, and so you've almost got a sort of self-contained living space in the back cabin. So it's got 3 double beds ultimately.
What gross weight would Hood have carried before?
Would have carried about 20 tonnes before.
So now it's a positive lightweight in comparison.
No, she's got a very easy retirement, I think, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's
Really.
probably very happy about it too.
I mean, you could convert the boat back into a carrying vessel quite easily. The cabin itself is held on with 40 coach screws and a seal, a weatherproof seal. So it's quite an easy, I mean, probably in a long weekend.
We did do that deliberately, freestanding furniture, so that it could be reconverted without any problem.
Yeah.
I think there's a responsibility
Keep the historical
with
sense.
Yeah, and there's a responsibility, isn't there, with an old boat, I think, to try and maintain its sort of working integrity to a degree.
Well, it really has been amazing to see the launch. It was a fabulous spectacle to see, and you both must be very proud.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, thank you.
Thanks, Alan.